with the Mississippi AFL-CIO today, Mississippi AFL-CIO, and we're here today to rally in support of all school teachers, especially the school teachers in Wisconsin, where they are being treated by their legislature and their government. We feel like that whatever your deal is, and if you're going to negotiate, you ought to negotiate fairly. Not promise people pensions and wages, and by strip of the pen, take them away. That's actually what's going on. They're using the fountain pen instead of the axe. Nevertheless, the workers in Wisconsin are standing tall, and America needs to stand tall, because once they get them, there'll be somebody else on the list. It's like the garment workers. Several years ago, they started sending their jobs overseas, and nobody thought much about the garment workers. Then the manufacturers, then the auto workers, and now the school teachers. Who's next? Who's next to go on the acts of corporations? Maybe you. We don't know. But there comes a time when you have to stop it. Egypt had enough. Have we had enough? This is Mississippi, and we don't have all the stuff that they got, but what we have, we're proud of.
That's right.
And we're proud to stand with them because they are union brothers and sisters. If you think for 1 minute it matters who you are or who you know, when the corporate act starts coming, there's no way to stop it unless you unite together. At this time, I'd like to get Brenda Scott, ACWA, local here in Jackson, representing the state workers, to come up and say a few words. Brenda?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I guess you guys see that sign that says, "I am a man"?
Yeah.
Let me explain that. In 1968, 1,300 sanitation workers in Memphis went on strike. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. came to support them. That was where he lost his life. Eventually, Memphis heard the grievances, and the sanitation workers were organized. And in subsequent years, millions of public employees across the nation have benefited from the job protection they have earned. We're here today standing in solidarity with the public workers of Wisconsin. We have pipe fitters, we have steel workers, building trades, telecommunication, boiler makers, government employees, and teachers. Instead of the focus being on the soaring profits of corporations who refuse to hire more workers, Wall Street bonuses, private equity managers whose income is treated as capital gains or business loopholes, or even the givebacks of the unions. All across the country, public workers have become the convenient scapegoat for budget battles. We join with the Wisconsin teachers and the public workers because we are sick and tired of being portrayed as the faceless bureaucrats who are making off with your money and handicapping federal and state services. And in the words of House Speaker Boehner, hell no, we are not. However, the story best fits Governor Scott Walker, and I venture to say Governor Barber, and all of the others who keep the attention on workers while they continue to try and make permanent the tax cuts for the wealthy. We believe that the public workers should have a right to bargain for better wages and working conditions, even though we in Mississippi don't. The very recession that we are currently in, the price of gas well over $3 a gallon, let us think for a minute about the oil companies, which control so many of our natural resources, such as coal and hydroelectric. The power of their profits are significant. Now that's real power. It's the kind of power that working families have never really known. Corporations have again and again shown an ability to work together to raise prices, regardless of the suffering and the hardship that it caused people. We must stand united across this country, whether it be in Wisconsin, Texas, New Mexico, and yes, even Mississippi, to stop this runaway train of those who have at the expense of those who have not. The labor movement believes that workers united are the only real power for workers. It was the labor movement that fought and won the 8-hour workday, the overtime pay, the sick and vacation leave, the unemployment benefits, workman's comp, pension, overtime pay, and the list goes on. And I tell you what, the unorganized workers are benefactors of that today.
A lot of people would have you believe that unions have served their purpose. But this reminds us there's still work to be done. I mean, for the naysayers out there that said, oh yeah, y'all helped us get the 40-hour work week, the overtime, Social Security, Medicaid, and all this, we don't need y'all anymore. You know, we've got all of that. Well, there's people finding out that there's an opposition out there that plan on taking all this back and then some.
That's right.
So I feel like, contrary to what you read in the newspapers, that the unions are probably on their way back, and this may be a blessing in disguise for this to happen in Wisconsin. Because you picked on some folks up there that have to live through bad winters. And you picked on them in a bad winter. So they're not going to be too kind to anybody. I mean, you freeze them to death and try to take all their money. So anyway, I'm just trying to shed the light on something. Any questions? Any other questions? I'm good. Thank you. Thank y'all for coming.